Good evening, friends, and welcome to day 163 of a poem a day for 2026. Um, of course, I lost time between recording and uploading Thursday's poem and tonight's, but I did just get really excited because I looked behind me and I can see that Cass has settled himself back on the bed. Um, he's doing a lot better. Um, he's being much more of himself, and yeah, he's been a good lad. Yeah, he's doing good. So let's see what we have today. Page and a half. Veritable essay by comparison to Milne's piece for Thursday. And a direct comparison as well by the looks of things. So 12th of June, titled On Turning 10 by Billy Collins. And our blurb reads as follows. Whereas A. Milne's poem Yesterday took a very straightforward approach to age, Billy Collins complicates the emotions of growing older. Like Milne's poem, it counts and catalogues age, but for Collins, everything looked different to the adult eye. So this is On Turning 10 by Billy Collins. The whole idea of it makes me feel like I'm coming down with something. Something worse than any stomachache, or the headaches I get from reading in bad light. A kind of measles of the spirit, a mumps of the psyche, a disfiguring chickenpox of the soul. You tell me it's too early to be looking back, but that is because you have forgotten the perfect simplicity of being one, and the beautiful complexity introduced by two. But I can lie on my bed and remember every digit. At 4, I was an Arabian wizard. I could make myself invisible by drinking a glass of milk a certain way. At 7, I was a soldier. At 9, a prince. But now I'm mostly at the window, watching the late afternoon light. Back then it never fell so solemnly against the side of my treehouse, and my bicycle never leaned against the garage as it does today. All the dark blue speed drained out of it. This is the beginning of sadness, I say to myself, as I walk through the universe in my sneakers. It is the time to say goodbye to my imaginary friends. Time to turn the first big number. It seems only yesterday I used to believe there was nothing under my skin but light. If you cut me, I could shine. But now, when I fall upon the sidewalks of life, I skin my knees. I bleed. I think there can definitely be something to be said about kids growing up too fast. Mine was probably reasonably the last generation that had a blend of a true blend of analog and digital. I mean, the internet really came into force when I was a child. They introduced IT lessons while I was at school. Um, I got my first very basic mobile phone when I was 12. And when I say very basic, and this will mean something to some of you, it was a BT Cellnet phone. It was black. It was about this big. Um, it looked more like a handheld house phone. Um, and it had a screen at the top for 2 lines of text. Um, so if somebody sent me a long text, I had to really scroll to read the whole thing. And if I remember rightly, I got it partly because my family had gone on holiday to Guernsey, in the Channel Islands, and I had made a friend while we were on holiday. Somebody staying in one of the they called chalets. I don't know. One of the self accommodations near us, and I think she was 13. She was a year or two older than me, but we really hit it off and we wanted to stay in contact. And I think my mum and stepdad had been contemplating getting me a phone. I travelled to and from school on the bus by myself. So I think they were probably thinking about it in terms of that. And yeah, I think befriending this girl, can't remember her name, I can't remember where in the UK she lived. But yeah, we got that phone, and I had that for a year, maybe 2, until I upgraded to a Nokia 3310. And yeah, really kind of ran away with things then. But now obviously kids are, and I don't mean this in a dismissive way, but I often hear people referring to small children as kind of like the iPad generation. And I personally don't think that's necessarily a bad thing. I know that tablets and stuff can be great learning resources, and they can be great to help with self-regulation, and can be great to help curb sort of overstimulation, in various circumstances. But yeah, when I was out and about as a kid, we were raw dogging it, raw dogging life. As I had to do this afternoon when Facebook and Instagram went down. Yeah, but yeah, we've just didn't have it back in my day, which feels very odd, but is absolutely true. In many ways, the world is smaller now, but again, I don't think in many ways that's a bad thing. I think so long as we properly look out for our kids, then it's okay. I think I'm gonna park it there. I'm gonna go and fuss my lad and upload this and make us all some dinner. I hope you've had a really good day, friends. And we made it through another week. Somehow. So, hopefully, manage a bit of a lie-in tomorrow. And then see where the day takes me. But before that, let's all have a good evening. And hopefully, like my boy there, hopefully we'll all have a very good night.